All right, on this quite snowy day, we are taking a look at this quite snowy 2025 Genesis G80. This is Genesis's mid-size sedan. So they have three sedans in their lineup. They actually launched the Genesis brand with these three sedans, the G70, this G80, and the big G90. And this is the second generation Genesis G80, and it has been facelifted for the 2025 model year. Most of the changes do come on the inside, but there are a few changes on the outside as well. So let's take a detailed walk around of this 2025 Genesis G80 to see what it's all about. All right, starting off, this is the fully loaded G80 Sports Prestige 3.5 trim level. So there's two different engine options and a couple trim levels per engine option. This one sits at the very top. So this is gonna have all the bells and whistles and all of the nice design elements. So in terms of updates for 2025, it's kind of minimal. It's really just the lower fascia on the outside that's been made a bit more aggressive. There's more grille space, although if we approach the car, we can see that this is not genuine grille. All of this is just plastic elements made to look like grille, although in the center here, this element is functional, as is most of this big upper grille. So there's definitely some faux grille elements, although you can see there's a pass-through on the side, on either side, in order to let air flow around the car and make it more aerodynamic. But this is just making the car a little more aggressive for this 2025 model year. I am a fan of how this looks. It's very sophisticated. As you can see with the hazards on, I really like how these turn signals and hazards wrap around to the side of the car. That's kind of a cool look and not something that any other car in the auto industry has. Coming along to the side, we can see the 20-inch rims you get on this Sport Prestige trim level. You can see that the pattern from the grille, this diamond pattern, is repeated in the spokes of the wheel, these 5 spokes of this rim. I think that's kind of a cool look and unique. And then as we back up and take a look at the profile of this G80, ooh, it's a little slippery. There's a lot of snow right now. We can see it has a pretty sloping roofline. This is gonna make the car a bit more aerodynamic. Also give it a little more of a sporty look. You know, this is a traditional sedan, not the most popular body style in today's auto market. So automakers who are still offering sedans like Genesis are trying to make them as attractive as possible. And that's kind of what this sloping roofline does. And you can see this is a very low and athletic looking car. I do really like the look of this car. It seems powerful, it seems sophisticated, and I think Genesis did a great job with the styling of this car. They nailed it on when it first launched a few years ago. And so I'm glad that they didn't make too many changes for this 2025 facelift, because they really didn't need to. Coming along to the back now, apologies for all the snow around here. I only drove this car for like 15 minutes and this is the result. We can see you get dual exhaust tips, also in kind of that diamond pattern. I am a fan of that. And you get more of the diamond pattern in this like diffuser area. And if I brush some of the snow off, we can see this is all-wheel drive, and again the 3.5T. You get Genesis written out across the back and G80. More of these dual turn signals, and they're like in line with the ones alongside, which is a pretty cool look. I am a fan of that. And as this is a luxury sedan, if you press this button right here, you do get an automatic opening trunk. And opening the trunk reveals 13.1 cubic feet of cargo capacity. That is how much space you get in the back of this G80. I do like that they have added elements to close off the arms of the trunk so you don't have to worry about anything getting crushed. It's not the biggest trunk, but it is usable. You lift this up to reveal your Space Saver spare tire. So it's nice to see that you do get a spare tire. A lot of car companies are foregoing spare tires in their modern cars. So nice to see that this G80 has it. And again, automatic trunk. That's also nice to see. Just makes your life a little easier and matches the luxury aesthetics of this G80. Popping the hood, we can see this car's upgraded engine. So the base engine is a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. This is a 3.5 liter turbocharged 6-cylinder, a V6, that makes 375 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque. So those are pretty healthy figures. That is definitely a lot of power for this mid-size sedan, and it feels really punchy. I'm a big fan of this, and very smooth. Now on the GV80 SUV in the coupe version, you can get an optional electronically supercharged version of this engine that makes about 409 horsepower. That's not on offer for this sedan. I think, you know, you're spending a little more money to go for the SUV and especially the coupe version of the GV80. And so Genesis wanted to give you a little bit of a special powertrain for that car, not on offer again in the sedan, although you can get a version of that engine in the G90, the full-size sedan. All right, but let's step out of the snow and into the back of this mid-size luxury sedan from Genesis. Nice vacuuming in the shape of the diamonds. And here in the second row of this GV80, or this G80, sorry, this chair is adjusted to my ideal driving position. I do have plenty of knee room. With my boots on, there's not that much foot room, but I can still fit. There's a pretty large hump in the floor back here. And if I flip the camera around, the ball of my hat does hit the ceiling. And if I sit all the way up, my head does brush. But I would say I do fit. This is a fairly comfortable back seat here in the G80. And we do have some nice luxury features, like manual peasant blockers, panoramic sunroof, that's the shade's currently closed of, nice suede headliner too. I really do like these red seats, again with this diamond pattern that is obviously a theme for this G80. Big fan of that. And if I fold down this center armrest, we can see, it's pretty fancy. We have a button that will raise and lower the rear shade, so you can completely block out the peasants. Heated seats for the outboard seats, very nice to see. Fold this up, pair of cup holders, and we have third zone automatic climate controls with air vents, map pockets, the fancy ones like on an airplane. And I, as a back rear seat passenger, can control the front passenger seat. This is a thing on most Genesis products, so I can tilt and slide to give this VIP seat here in the rear passenger on the right side of the car a little more space. Overall, very nice back seat here. Also a little coat hook right here. Feels luxurious and spacious enough for the rear seat of a midsize luxury sedan. I would be happy sitting back here for a few hours, definitely. But most of the updates for 2025 are up front, so let's hop up there now. Climb in once again out of the snow, start this bad boy up, and I'm going to push my chair all the way back in order to give you guys the widest perspective possible. Starting things off strong is this two-tone steering wheel, this red and black. This is like dark side vibes of from Star Wars. I really like it. I think it is quite a good look. Genesis has done a really good job, and the Hyundai Group in general have done a really good job of their just design and making things look good. And this is definitely a luxury appearance in this G80. I'm a fan of it. I'm going to open the shade 2, which we can see opens from the middle. There is a bar, but this isn't. Oh, don't actually open. No, 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 no. I don't want snow in here. Okay, but I want the shade. Okay, there we go. You can see this part does open, so that is a solid amount that does open here. And this is what's new, this up front, this interior. So we have a flat bottom steering wheel here in this Sport Prestige 3.5. We have this massive display that acts as both your instrument cluster and your infotainment system. It's both a touchscreen, which, okay, standard stuff, but also you can use this rotary dial. I love that Genesis gives you the option. I think rotary dials are the safest way to operate with an infotainment system while driving. It just gives you a tactile feel while you are driving. So I like to see that they have both. And then you have separately your climate controls. It's a mixture of physical controls like adjusting your temperature and a screen. So this part obviously is a screen, and these are touch controls too. I wish they were physical buttons, but I'm glad that they are separate from the main infotainment system. Over here, we can see we have a wireless charging pad, cup holders. I love the carbon fiber you get here too. Let me turn off the windshield wipers. This is your gear selector. So foot on your brake, right for drive, left for reverse, press for park. Again, your rotary dial. And we have a few shortcut buttons here. So I like that there's a good mixture of physical controls and technology. I think this is a really good looking interior. And what I was actually worried about with this interior is that it was going to be too similar now to the Hyundai products. Because Hyundai's, like if you go into a new Sonata, they have a similar layout as this Genesis G80 with your climate control design, with your two-screen setup. So I was worried that this was going to feel too much like a Hyundai, but actually sitting in here, it really does not feel like a Hyundai. This does feel very premium, and it's all in the materials. These, this steering wheel, again, the soft leather, and then like this leather material and this with the contrast stitching. Again, these seats are so elegant, so bad guy vibe. I really love them. These, again, are these controls to move this particular seat. The flowing lines you get here. It is very luxurious in here. It does not feel like an economy car in the slightest. And I'm really impressed with what Genesis has done with this new interior. Physical controls on the steering wheel, which is really nice. I would say the one area where this is feeling a little bit Hyundai-like are some of these buttons. They are backlit in the same color that they are backlit in a Hyundai, like this light blue backlight. They've done a good job of changing the software, the skin of the software, and all of the fonts and stuff, but these buttons down here, these buttons on the steering wheel, these buttons here, those, if you've been in a Hyundai, are a little reminiscent of said Hyundais. But overall, I would say it's fairly luxurious in here. I like this air vent again that goes the whole width of the car. I think it's a really nice space in here. Feels premium. This actually isn't a carbon fiber. It's like a faux carbon fiber look, but still looks really good. Feels premium. And I think the changes are good. It feels more modern in here. You used to have a separated instrument cluster and infotainment system. This feels a bit more sophisticated, a bit more with the times. While still, they did a good job making it feel separate from Hyundai. So that's the 2025 Genesis G80 Sport Prestige. Now we need to talk about price. So the G80 starts at $57,000, but again, that's gonna get you that 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder. So if you want the V6, you're gonna be paying at least $70,000 for the cheapest V6 trim level. And this model, this fully loaded Sport Prestige, starts at $77,000. So you're definitely gonna be spending a lot of money on this mid-size luxury sedan from Genesis, but honestly, it really does feel like every penny. I love the way it looks. I love this new interior, and Genesis hasn't changed anything that this car was already excellent at. They've just made some incremental improvements for 2025. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.